Georgia, and welcome to the show, West to West. I'm excited to bring you today's menu. It's going to be an authentic dish that we're going to fuse with some westernized techniques. As I said in the first episode, West to West is going to be a culinary journey we're going to be taking. And in this show, we're going to try to pair techniques, methods, ingredients from two cultures. My Pan-African background, and then here in the Western world where I was culinary trained. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. It's going to be a very classic, traditional, and authentic dish presented in a westernized setting. For today's episode, the menu is going to be what I called Eba Cakes and vegetable sauce. That's a traditional dish that we usually eat on a Saturday. It's what we call the Saturday dish. In Nigeria, it's called swallow and vegetable sauce. But what I'm going to do with this dish in today's show is that I'm going to deconstruct it a little bit. So instead of making the traditional swallow, traditional eba, I'm going to make eba cakes out of it. That's tying in with something I like to do. It's called polenta cakes. It's made with cornmeal. It's more of an Italian dish. And then with the vegetable, I'm going to separate the tomato part and the grains, but it all come together at the end when I present the dish. First segment of the dish is going to be the roasted red pepper sauce. Usually when you do the vegetable sauce, it's all blended in and cooked together, but I'm going to deconstruct it just to present the dish in a different aspect. So with that, just basic ingredients, some red peppers, plum tomatoes, herbs and spices, and onions. So you start off by washing up your veggies real nice and clean. Let them drain up a little bit. So I'm going to start with one red pepper, a little bit of oil. I'm going to take the pepper and have it there. You want to keep an eye on that, but whilst that is working, I want to start by preparing the other ingredients to this dish. So African food is all about flavors and layering of different segments. So we'll start off with the tomato, some sweet white onions, a few cloves of garlic, just about 4 cloves would do. And then this is some fresh oregano, sprigs. We'll put all this in the blender to make the base of the sauce. You want to keep an eye on the pepper. While the pepper has been roasted, another aspect to the dish is the veggies. So usually with this dish, it's made with, traditionally it's made with bitter leaves, and some toasted melon seed, what we call egusi. This is fermented sesame paste. We call that ogiri. Some secret ingredient, that's my house blend spices. Palm oil, of course, you would find in every African dish. Scotch peppers. I like to use red onions because of the flavor profile. And the secret ingredient that gives it that kickback is some dry crayfish. We'll bring all that together, and you'll be wondering why there's eggs. You'll see how I bring it all together at the end of the day. We're going to toast the melon seeds, and this is how we make our egusi. Egusi is nothing but toasted melon seeds, and we'll put that in the food processor to grind it up. We got a Dutch oven skillet nice and warm, so I'm just going to let the melon seed toast up. You'll begin to hear it pop, and the oil will begin to come out of the seeds. We'll take it out, blend it, and you have your egusi soup. That's one of the ingredients for this dish. Our peppers is nicely roasted, so we have our peppers nicely toasted. I'll be just washing it off just to peel off the char part, because you don't want that bitterness. For our vegetable sauce, we're just going to take these ingredients, put it in the blender. Scotch pepper, garlic cloves, sweet onions, oregano spring, peppers. Most importantly, you always want to clean as you go. Some vegetable in cube. And that's your egusi, nicely toasted. I'm not gonna clean my blender just yet because I want that flavor when I do my crayfish. The same blender. To make the sauce, you could use water, but I liked the flavors, and that's how you build flavor in cooking. So this is some chicken broth right here, about a cup of that. To start the sauce, I'm just going to drizzle some oil at the bottom of the pan here. You'll get the oil heated up for about a minute, and that sauce we blended, I'm just going to pour it here. I'm going to reserve some for the vegetable part, but this is going to be the base. I'll be blending up some garlic cloves and a couple of scotch peppers. As I said earlier, I love the flavor on red onions. So 1 red onions. I'm going to be chopping this one. And also I'll be dicing fresh red pepper. So this being the base of the dish, you want it to reduce by half. As you can see, it reduces by half. And now I'm going to add the egusi, or toasted melon seed. That's just going to serve as a thickening agent. It's going to help thicken up the dish and add flavor to it. About 1.5 tablespoons of that. So for the main component of the dish, you could use any protein, but I decided to use seafood, for health reasons. If you want a lighter, you could use any meat of your choice. Chicken, poultry, red meat, game. Got some nice jumbo shrimp here, just cleaning it off. You could get this at your local seafood market. And with this, I'm gonna leave the head intact because I want that all to be part of the dish. I'm just gonna break off these paws a little bit. You have squid, some shrimp, some oysters, some mushrooms, oyster mushrooms. So with that, I'm just gonna season it up a little bit with some salt and pepper. my seafood house blend. Just bring it all together, make it happy. I'm gonna let this sit in the ice box a little bit while I get on the veggies. Some chopped up red onions, chopped up red pepper. We're gonna be sauteing that in a little bit of palm oil. As I said, in Sierra Leone or in Nigeria, we use bitter leaves, what the Nigerians might call ogbon or something like that. But my twist on it, I'm gonna use some chopped kale because it also has that bitterness to it. Kale is something you would not find in our cooking, but here in the US, it's actually a prime veg that we use for almost anything from smoothie to chips and everything. So I'm going to use some chopped kale, and then I'm going to fold in some nice organic baby spinach at the end to bring the dish all together. So that's some nice palm oil from the motherland, about a cup or so of palm oil. I like to flavor my palm oil a little bit as it's going. So before I add the veggies, I'm going to just put about a teaspoon of curry powder and then a couple of sprigs of fresh oregano. I'll be adding a tablespoon of that chopped garlic and scotch peppers. African cuisine is all about flavor profile. I'm gonna add my grains into it now to cook with that. There's another version of this dish, it's called egusi soup. With egusi soup, I would have added the egusi to cook with the veg, but I'm not doing egusi soup, I'm doing a vegetable sauce. I'm just adding a couple of those egusi that we made earlier. So this is the leftover roasted red pepper and tomato sauce that we cooked earlier. I'm just going to add in a lot of things. So I'm just going to take some chicken stock here, rinse it all out. The most important thing about African cooking or cooking in general is the development of flavors. So I'm going to let this simmer for about 3 to 5 minutes. So now I'm going to add about a tablespoon or 2 of the crayfish, about a teaspoon of the ogiri, fermented sesame paste. I'm going to let those flavor layer up for about 3 to 5 minutes, and then I add the seafood into it. So while the veggies is going, we want to start on the last part of the dish, which is the Eba Cakes. So Eba Cakes is just typical Eba. Eba is just gari, hot water, but I'm going to add some little flavor to it just to make it differently, and then you'll see how it all comes together. I have my water going for the Eba. Some gari, about a cup or 2 of gari. This is a little bit of chicken base. I'm going to make a broth to make the Eba Cakes. This process you want to do at least 24 hours ahead, because after the Eba has built up, you want to chill it so that way you could cut it into whatever shapes and sizes you want. So instead of just the water, I put some little chicken base to make some chicken broth. So I'm going to start with a little bit of butter with it. So remember I said this is a process you want to do 24 hours ahead because you want your Eba to set. So now that you've had your gari, your Eba almost formed, now we're going to spread it out and chill it. You may be wondering what's the eggs for. You know, when you do a veggie soup like that, you usually want to use the egusi to as a binding agent to thicken it up. But I also want to show you a technique because the yolk of the egg is a good source of emulsifier. So I'm just going to whip up some eggs. If you want to do this vegetable soup, whether you have the egusi or not, you could also use eggs for a special trick that I actually acquired from a special friend. in cooking we get to learn every day. So I was actually watching her cook, and I was wondering what she was using the eggs for. But I realized from culinary school that egg yolk is a good source of emulsifier. So, and now I add the eggs. You don't want your eggs to curdle or scramble. And there you have it. So the eggs do the same thing the egusi would do. The eba that we have chilled and spread out for about 24 hours. So whatever shapes you want, you could use a knife. I'm just using a good old cookie cutter here. Season the pan up a little bit. So I'm gonna add a little bit more bouillon cube to the veggies, just for that extra flavor. So for my eba cakes, I'm just gonna take one and lay it like that. And now for my most exciting part of the show is bringing the dish together. We're about to plate the food. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to our videos. You could follow us on Instagram and Facebook at West Through West. Our YouTube channel is West Through West by Fadges. Our email, you could send your comments, your thoughts, westthroughwest@gmail.com. That's westthroughwest@gmail.com at the bottom of the screen. This is the roasted red pepper sauce. That's our Eba Cakes. So the reason why I left the head on the shrimp is just to present it nicely. Today's episode is a wrap, West Through West by Fadges. So today's menu, we had Eba Cakes, roasted red pepper and tomato sauce, some seafood vegetable. Instead of the traditional bitter leaves, I use kale. And let's see, bon appetit. The spice, the blend, it's all now together. It is so good. It is, believe me, it is so good.